Hey everybody, today is the 12th of November 2020. This is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. Sorry I've been missing for a while. Talk to you about what's been going on, what's coming up. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's about 4:35 p.m. local time. It's about 57 degrees outside. It is a nice day here. Again, it is the 12th of November. Just before I forget, this would have been my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Pop. He passed away a while back, but still remember him. My brother's birthday is the 9th of November. Marine Corps birthday is the 10th. Veterans Day the 11th. My dad's was the 12th. So anyway, just want to share a few things with you. I have been missing for a couple months, and I apologize for that. I've still been having trouble with internet service. So if you have a good unlimited non-throttled service that you use, leave me a comment below. I've tried a couple of them, and I've ended up losing some money on a couple of them. And just trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this. So it's hard. You really can't upload videos really well at truck stops or stuff like that. So it just makes it real difficult. My phone only has so much a plan. It's as far as data, so it makes it a little rough. But anyway, sorry I've been missing. I had filmed quite a bit of stuff, just never was able to get it together and get it posted. But the last couple months have been interesting, a little bit different. I still am with Stevens Transport right now, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Got a chance to run this year, so we hit our 1-year anniversary of driving over the road on the 1st of November. So we've been doing it just a little bit more than 1 year. So learned a lot during that year. Haven't had any major issues. One little thing, that was it. And but everything else has been really good. We did put in between my trainer's truck and my truck, over just myself have done over the past 12 months a little over 120,000 miles. So I am really psyched about that. That's running pretty hard. That said, a lot of that happened in the first 10 months, and I'd say more than 105 miles of that, somewhere like that, 105,000 miles of that happened in the first 10 months, and the last 2 months have been a little rough. I tend to run really hard, and they give me these loads that have really short time frames. Not necessarily that the team would have to run them, but that somebody, if you're a solo driver, you're going to have to run. And I don't have a problem with that. Where I've had to run into some issues is before and after those loads. Waiting for the next one, or getting there and and like I said, sitting around, or getting sent deadhead to a load where I'm deadheading 200-300 miles, and then sitting there for a day and a half, and that's made it really rough. Like for instance, in October I think did about 8,000 miles, and that's really not something I'm happy about. I got one load that I ran that went from originally I got a load. So let me back up real quick. I got to go to some states I didn't think I was going to get a chance to, and I hadn't for a while. Predominantly the ones that I'm talking about, Oregon, Washington. I got the chance to go up there, and then on the way back I was able to go about 30 miles out of route, and it worked out better anyway because the road was better at that time, and got through Montana and South Dakota on my way to Missouri. Once I got to Missouri, I got a load, and the load was like 3 days away. I was able to sit where I was at, take a 34. But then when I got to where the load was, which was about 120 miles away, I had to sit there and for a day and a half, and then they kicked the load back one more day. And at that time I called and said, hey, you guys got to figure out something, because I'm going to be sitting for 5 days straight. And they got me a load running up to Nebraska to pick up, and I was supposed to get home time here in Albuquerque, and that load was going to Phoenix. So usually what happens with Stevens is we deliver loads. The only place we really deliver loads regularly in New Mexico is to the Walmart distribution center in Los Lunas, which is about 30 miles south of Albuquerque. And so we don't pick up anything in New Mexico. So normally what happens is then you would come up and you would either repower somebody along I-40, or more often than not, they send you to the meat patch to Liberal, Kansas, or Dodge City, Kansas, something like that, to pick up a load and then run it wherever. Well, so it should have been fairly easy, it seems like, to get me repowered so I can do my home time here in Albuquerque. Well, they couldn't find me a repower. You know, they were so backlogged in a meat patch, they were sending everybody that was empty from Los Lunas to the meat patch, and they wouldn't repower me. So I had to take the load to Phoenix, two stops in Phoenix. So I had to spend a day and a half in Phoenix, and then the load that they got me to get me home was a load to go to Los Lunas, but I had to drive to Irwindale, which is near Los Angeles, so deadheading 350 miles, so I could get back here. And it was a hard, fast run to get back here so that I could deliver it on time and then take my home time. So I had to go 1,800 miles in order to get back to where I wanted to be, which was my home time. So anyway, it was just a headache, and it just didn't sit really well with me. So I made a decision, and I want to share this with you. I'm going to be leaving Stevens Transport here in the next week or so. I'm waiting on a load to get me back down to Dallas. Now, that said, Stevens been really good to me. I don't want to say they haven't. My two driver managers have been great. I mean, seriously, Jonathan Martinez, if you're lucky enough to have him as a driver manager for whether grad fleet or afterwards, because I had him for both, excellent DM. You know, and Mark Bockham, who has been my DM for about 4 months, great guy, great, you know, just really great. So it's not my driver managers, it's just the way that running reefer 100% on this sometimes is going. You got some downtime sometimes, especially when you're running meat or produce, because especially the meat, you're getting there, and then they want you to take a 10-hour break, and you have a DLD that may be a day and a half away, so you're sitting there for a day and a half. And it's good if you're trying to get a 34-hour reset, but if you're trying to get miles, it's not that great. But for somebody who runs a lot, if you like a lot of downtime and that kind of stuff, it's fine. And don't get me wrong, I've made a good living the last year running for Stevens. Stevens has run me really well, except for, like I said, about the last 2 months, it's just been rough, you know, and that seems like that's the rough time to do it. Well, I mean, the good news is Stevens has increased their base pay rate for new drivers, and for everyone else out there, they've raised that base pay by 4 cents per mile. And then because I finished a year, I was going to get another 2 cent bump, so 6 cents, which is pretty good to go 6 cents in a year. But the company I'm looking at going to is going to, excuse me, I'm getting some reflection off of the back of a trailer. Some guys trying to park here. I'm at the Flying J here in Albuquerque. So the company that I'm going to, because I've run as much as I have, and I haven't had any tickets or safety incidents or anything like that, they're going to start me a little bit higher than that. They're going to start me somewhere closer to about 56 cents a mile. So even after the 6 cents, it's still another like 14 cents more a mile. So that's pretty significant. And they do a lot of drop and hook, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about where that is once I get there. Okay, I don't want to talk about exactly where it is now, but I'll talk to you about it then. So that's just where I want to go. The other part about it, and even if the pay was about the same and the mileage was similar to that, I'm just ready. I just wanted to run something a little bit different. The company I'm working for, they've got a few different divisions. One that's dry van, one that's reefer, and then they got flatbed. I'm not going to do flatbed, and I've done reefer, reefer division, so run refrigerated, but dry van, and I want to try dry van a little bit because it opens up some lanes to places I haven't been able to get to. Like I said, I've managed to get to 45 states this year. 45 states. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so the only states that I haven't been to are Maine, Wisconsin, and North Dakota. Those are the only 3 states. So, this and running with a company like Stevens, there's very few loads that ever go to Maine or North Dakota. They get some to Wisconsin. I just haven't gotten them, but Maine and North Dakota is just really hard. I mean, I thought I wasn't going to get to Oregon or Washington or Montana and South Dakota, but I just lucked out, and that's how I ended up there. So anyway, it's again, I don't want to say anything bad about Stevens because Stevens has been really good to me. I think it's a great company to start off with. I think it's a great company if you like the lanes that you're in, and maybe some of the dedicated if you really like that. I ran dedicated temporarily for about 3.5 weeks. Dedicated Purdue, it was okay, but I wouldn't run it full time. It's not near my home anyway, so I just ran it dedicated so that I could stay in the East because I was taking home time to see some friends in Arkansas. So, but I enjoyed it out there, and that wasn't bad, and the money was pretty decent, and the money's good with Stevens. It is, and it's good, and it's getting better if you look at a 4-cent increase, and for the base. I mean, starting I think for new drivers 40 cents a mile, something like that. That's that's a lot better than where it was. So you can make a few $100s more a month, if you're running hard. Good, that's great. But I just want to change. Now that said, I'm going to miss Emily Rose, my truck. I've been here in Albuquerque, and I've been thinking about it. I've had this in my mind about this change and this, thinking about it and talking to people and everything else, and I said when I get here, I'm going to make a decision, and if I decide to move, then to move companies. It was great. I was here. I could get a lot of stuff off my truck, put it in storage so that when I get to a new company and run through here, I can pick it up. And that's sort of what I've been doing the last day and a half is getting this stuff in storage and putting together just what I need to start at this new company for me. So like I said, I will give you more information about it once I get there. But like I said, I think it's a good move for me. Again, I can't say it enough. This isn't really a big slight on Stevens, even though it's been a little thin for miles for me the last 8 weeks. I've made good money with Stevens. And I'm not complaining about that at all. It's just now's the time. I got some experience, and I've kept my nose clean, and I've run hard, and everything else that another company's going to appreciate that, and they're going to pay me a little bit more, and I can make between $400 and $600 more a week, running for this other company. So, with the experience I have and everything. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. But I hope everybody has been staying safe. I know the COVID's been raising its head. I know with the political season and everything else, I don't want to get into that, but but it is what it is, and we're going to go on, and we're going to support however we need to as truck drivers, and I'm looking forward to this next chapter in this career. So if you have any questions or anything, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do promise I am going to be posting more, much more often than I have in the last 3 months. I had posted pretty regularly for about 6 months, and then a little less regularly for the next 3, and it's just just the nature of what it was, and like I said, I ran into some equipment issues and stuff like that. So hopefully we got those worked out, and we're going to go on from here, and we're going to enjoy what we got coming for the next year, and see where we go from there. So again, subscribe if you would. Hit the notification icon down there so it lets you know when I post. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Excuse me, allergies are kicking up. That's the tough part about getting allergies. If you get allergies and part of it is a cough, man, people look at you like you're spreading disease and everything else right now, but just allergies, I promise. Anyway, you guys have a great one. All right, this is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. I'm driving for Stevens Transport right now, getting ready to move, but I'm still psyched. You guys have a great one. We will talk to you soon.